brilliant. I hope you guys are enjoying the new draft system, because
shout out to Narender and Forsaker and Undead Pilot.
There's one other, and I'm forgetting, and Karkovsky. Karkovsky did a lot of this, so shout out to them. It looks absolutely beautiful. Hopefully you guys are enjoying those super sweet, super sexy looking drafts here.
Wait until you see the next iteration where there's motion graphics in the background that Forsaker would work. Oh my god, it's so good.
Don't
it's gonna be the new.
Spoil it?
It's gonna come out with the new Ardent Update Monolith patch. I'm just kidding. That's a lie. That's
Shane, Lieutenant Bellica has been banned again.
People don't want to play. It's Bellica,
is
man.
banned as well. Bellica, her combo, Shane, that knock up into her bomb, it is so much damage. It is almost impossible to miss. And it's very, very scary to deal with. So Bellica out, Richter out. Shane, guess who we're seeing again?
Iggy and Scorchman. You see what he can do. The moment he's able to get those turrets set up, it is a no-man's zone. Oh! Please tell me this is a jungle bash. Please tell me this is a jungle Narbash, assassin bash. Ladies and gentlemen, he may be making his first appearance here in the Paragon Competitive League. He asked for hype notch. I'm giving it. Assassin bash, assassin Narbash is a thing. I can't wait. This is going to be sick.
So Narbash Muriel picked up over on the side of the tryouts. It shocked me. I was not expecting that. We've got Gadget and Murdoch picked up over on Hydra Esports. I either want Narbash off lane or in the jungle. Either one I'm okay with.
Or off lane Muriel and support Narbash. We've seen that before. We've seen off lane Muriel.
We have. It could be off lane Muriel. There's a lot of different things. Zorky just pointed it out. It could be off lane Muriel. Who knows? Who knows? Only time will tell when we jump into this game here. Next pickup here, we've got tryouts. They've got two more. They're going to pick up Morigesh in the mid lane. Are we going to see Kalari or Countess yet? We haven't seen it at this point.
Yeah, a lot of people saying how Kalari is good, and put it lightly, and we haven't seen her picked up here yet. Especially since Vision, is not as free as it used to be. But nonetheless, it's there. It is, Countess, baby. She's always been one of my favorite heroes, and she was able to one-shot carries in the previous iteration of Paragon, and now she can half-shot carries. Is that a thing? Like, it's not even one shot. It's like a quarter of a shot.
Darktide, rip, GG,
something like that. But yeah, she's very, very strong. But the weakness that she always has and still has is if you can keep her from getting farm or you CC her, she's just a complete non-factor.
Yep. We're going to see Jungle Countess. Rampage and Sevarog picked up over on the side. Hydra Esports. So Rampage support? Sevarog support?
Could be an offlane. No, offlane's going to be Iggy. Could be a support gadget.
What if
I think it could be a support gadget. I mean, I actually think Iggy doesn't need that much farm to do devastating amounts of damage.
Just zone him out?
Yeah.
It's Iggy support. Well, I'm going to jump into the replay and look.
You're cheating. No.
I know. I had to.
It's not fair.
Let's get into the match. We're done talking. Let's jump into this match, ladies and gentlemen.
We just want to see what happens. Let's just see what happens here, boys. We have an Iggy support.
We have Iggy on support.
Maybe a jungle Narbash or a support Narbash and offlane. It's okay. It's going to be an offlane Muriel, I think, with a support Narbash. But the overall, taking a look at the drafts as a whole here, you have a clash of two styles. You have zone control and Iggy and a big front line coming out here from Hydra. The tryouts, they are literally just look how much sustain they have on their side of the team. Just make these fights last as long as possible until Countess connects with someone. Get him low with Morigesh. Morigesh is going to mark Hive. Countess literally just needs to go in and hit a button at that point.
Yep. I also want to point out real quick, Shane, because we haven't seen this yet. Throwaway words. We had two lamp lighters picked up for both teams. Tokyo Nicholas went in. He tried to ward deep. Muriel said, "I'm not having that crap," and she cleared it up. Vanilla Cutie in the mid lane against Muriel.
Oh my lord. Look at this support Iggy. This is the most annoying thing in the world. I'm getting salty and I'm just casting. This is just incredible.
We haven't even introduced the teams yet because there's already Cranky Trash Cans taking quite a bit of damage. Iggy on the support. I mean, set your turrets up. Leave this Countess just sitting at the front door of a tower, not getting any farm. Hopefully she's picked up a font of experience so she can at least get levels. And she's going to have to commit to these jungle minions to pick up that farm. You've got Vanilla Cutie in the mid lane who's going to be going against a Muriel and Twin Blast. Muriel does a surprising bit of damage early game, Shane, if she's able to land those abilities. And then of course we've got Rampage, not in the jungle, Shane. He's in the off lane.
Okay.
Against Morigesh.
And it's a jungle Narbash. This makes me so happy. All right.
Here comes Azzy Bear, rotating around, trying to get Vanilla Cutie. Vanilla Cutie is low. Azzy Bear's running. He's got minions. Vanilla Cutie is going to back off, so they're just going to deal with this minion damage here. Vanilla Cutie, I don't think. I mean, at this point, you just let it go.
Yeah. I
don't know if there's damage for the other guys to clean it up. There's not.
Yeah. It's too early for them to be cleaning it up that early. Morigesh rotating very, very early on right there, pretty much because the wave was pushed. I like what Azzy did. Azzy did on Morigesh, pushed the lane against the tower of Regal, and then immediately was able to just retreat and apply pressure elsewhere on the map. Cranky up against this Iggy. This is, I mean, foreshadowed. If you can keep a Countess down, that is the best possible way to deal with the Countess, is just don't let her get farm, and don't ever let her hit the point where she can start one-shotting your backline, and... well, let's just pick an Iggy support and make sure she literally can't ever be in her lane ever.
Okay, well, Countess has really good... she scales really well. So font of experience on Countess, making sure she's getting those levels is actually really important for Countess. Without even building too much into cards, as long as she's building into intellect, getting that mana, getting some of those gems for that power spike, and getting those levels with her scaling, come level 9... she can deal significant damage. So they have to apply pressure really quickly, and they have to keep that pressure applied from the start. If they back off and allow her to get any farm and start picking up cards, Invader Mage, especially Invader Mage, which gives you the penetration, she can become a real nuisance at level 9 here. So they're doing a great job keeping her pushed back. The range on those turrets is bananas. It's so big.
This jungle Narbash, let's talk about why this is a thing, how this is a thing, when it is a thing. Narbash actually has the highest base damage in the game. So his ability to jungle is pretty good because he's able to get it. Lucer, under siege here from Countess as well as the jungle Narbash, but turrets are set up, and even with a support Iggy, it's so difficult to fight into that situation. But yeah, Narbash's damage is actually very, very significant early on. Thunk obviously doesn't have the most damage, but it means crowd control. What do you want out of a jungler? You want kill potential, and you want crowd control. That's exactly what Narbash had. With the new jungle enabling more heroes to be able to go inside of the jungle and farm efficiently, we're starting to see more dynamic drafts like this sort of situation. The thing I like the most is Song of My People in tandem with the shields coming out from Nebos. Is like, that's just so much to sustain inside of fights. They're going to keep everyone alive while Azzy Bear is just sitting back, getting people down with Mark, the damage over time with Hive, the moment someone gets low enough, here comes Curse, here comes Countess. This draft, as long as they're able to keep Narbash at a decent position, he's going to be okay. And now actually progressing over onto Ghost. Here. He uses a speed boost to try to keep himself inside a melee range here. Thunk is going to be available. He has the mana. He's going to get it. And Jungle Narbash gets the kill over on a Murdoch. I have to fake hype that. That is so sick. And he gets both for the gold dust. Subjugate up. The shield from the gym is there. He's probably going to fall here to the big hammer of Tokyo Nicholas. But that's going to be okay as he picked up a very important kill onto the carry, secured a gold buff. Countess maybe in some trouble. Shields are there coming off the mural. He's going to be okay. Tokyo Nicholas now in full retreat as Lucer has to run away. Twin Blast has now rotated. Azzy Bear does pick up a solo kill on the other side of the field. So there it is. Jungle Narbash. You see the power of it. It's good. It's legit. Start picking it up in your pub games.
Picked up a kill. He picked up a double gold. He does fall for it. But, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that exchange if I'm Narbash at this point. I've got a kill. I've got 2 gold buffs. I'm getting myself some gold. He's picked up his Flame of Zetchin. He's also got a green spring on, which gives him basic armor. And it gives him 8.4 health regen while out of combat. So he's going to be full health all the friggin' time. And then once you start, again, like you said, that control of Nebos, once he gets that Reversal of Fortune online, these engagements are going to be pretty interesting to watch. That being said, though, you've got Hydra Esports. They've got a very, very, very big front line, Shane. Yeah. Tokyo Nicholas, I expect to see him. He is Order. So we're going to see that Godmother Vigilant card on him, so he's going to get very tanky. As long as he's stacking effectively, he's going to have quite a bit of health. Vanilla Cutie in a little bit of trouble here in the mid lane, 3-man rotation. There's going to be the Thunk. He is going to fall. Azzy Bear's going to pick up that kill with that mark right there. And Vanilla Cutie is down. I'm looking at these teams. You've got Hydra, who's got a better late game comp, and you've got, because of that tankiness, and you've got the side of Tryouts, who've got a really good, strong, aggressive comp in the early to mid game.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're seeing the rotations coming out of them.
Oh man, I'm trying to get out of trouble as Tokyo Nicholas was there. I love saying the name. It's so satisfying. It just rolls off the tongue. Picking up the kill here. Taking a look at the affinity specifically with each. Let's take a look at the junglers here, because I think the affinities on the junglers is probably the most telling thing. Growth, it's going to be growth. Guarantee you it's going to be growth. It's the other affinity. It's going to be order for Sevarog. Actually, Tokyo Nicholas does have a ward. So guess what? If you're not a support, you can buy wards. Think about that for a second. But as well over here on Narbash, it is order and growth as well. So both of these are playing sort of a tank support sort of role, a little bit less of a damage role, like we would see it of maybe like a Grux or a Crunch, something along, or even a Jungle Kalari, which may be a thing not yet determined. But I really like the jungle, playing jungle and utilizing your jungler as an initiator, tank, and a support. I think that is a very, very effective means of that position, and that's exactly what we're seeing out of both teams thus far.
Yeah, we have seen, so I was talking to a couple of the competitive players about vision, because vision has changed drastically with 42. Yep. From 41, we had all of the vision, and then 42 came out, and we had almost none of the vision, because people are still trying to figure out how to build. So we're starting to see, especially with Godmother Vigilant, a card like Lamplighter is a really good card because it's consumable. So you build, you rush your 13 points, you pick up your Godmother Vigilant, and then which is really the only card you need.
Oh, Cranky might get a double kill. Is he going to be able to get it? Oh, the minions are the MVP! So Cranky gets the kill onto Iggy, and gets a reprisal over onto Murdoch as well. Other side of the field, Nebos trying to juke and jive. He's going to be able to keep himself up. Shield is there. Muriel is so difficult to take down between the speed boost and the damage mitigation there.
Yeah, did a very good job keeping herself alive. So Lamplighter and Godmother Vigilant, great cards. Godmother Vigilant has that elevate that gives you all of the health. The good thing about Lamplighter, it's 300 gold, it's consumable. You put your two wards down, the card is gone, and then the elevate attribute. What does Epic call it, Shane? Did they tell you what they were calling it? No. For the cards, because the cards have different abilities that you can augment. Elevate is one of those.
The passive.
The passive. There we go. So the elevate passive. The moment that Lamplighter goes away, he then kicks in that extra health, the 1% health per attribute point spent. Because elevate, you have to have only one card equipped in your hand. So it's one of the reasons the wards work so well with that particular build that I'm assuming Tokyo Nicholas is going to run here.
A little bit of aggression into the strong side jungle, but with Azzybear being down, I don't think they want to be doing anything like that, especially with Murdoch pretty much free-farming over here on the right side of the map. Raptors are up, and looks like Raptors are thinking about it. They do have the Vireo shields, and you do see the damage coming down there. They're just going to pick up one, but hey, a little bit of a boost over onto Canis. Canis was struggling very, very early, gave up 2 deaths, but we did just see her, even with being behind economically, was able to essentially get a double kill. Didn't get credit for the Murdoch kill, but still was able to get a double kill despite the fact that she's had a very hard early game here. So if I am Hydra, then I'm a little bit concerned that this Countess is making big plays, even with as much priority as they put into trying to mitigate her presence. She still is a presence on the field nonetheless. So keep an eye on that. People are going to die.
Azzybear with the rotation over to this lane, trying to keep this tower up. Countess had to back off. They're not going to get aggressive on her, but Azzy doesn't have the lane clear on more. So Cranky Trash Can will show back up, clear this way. Now, Shane, that's what I was talking about earlier with fun of experience. Countess's scaling is so good right now that you can have not a horrible start, but if you struggle a little bit at the start of your game, as long as you're getting those levels, as long as you're picking up a couple last hits, she's going to be able to come online no matter what because of her scaling. She now has Invader Mage online. She's also picked up Mana Flow Acolyte. Anytime she spends points into Intellect, it's going to increase her mana and power by 5% whenever you purchase Intellect. So she's going to be getting a power spike there. I'm expecting to see a Sleeper Agent on her, or possibly Corrosive Walker. Sleeper Agent is the card that does that silence. So you target an enemy, it'll silence, but they also take an additional 15% damage. She could go with Corrosive Walker, which is basically an AoE shred and it gets rid of the ability armor on heroes. So a lot of different builds we can see out of her. So I'm interested to see which route Cranky Trash Can goes there. Is he going to pick up a card like Thaumaturge? Azibear's chasing Vanilla Cutie here. This may have been a misplay. He didn't know Nicholas was behind him with that purple buff, and he's just going to get deleted off the map.
As well as Adok he used Crash Bang Boom effectively on 2 people, but with the lack of rotations and a majority of the team members of Hydra being there, gonna be able to get the kill pretty easily there. So, but another card is Shadow Dancer on Countess as well. Very, very threatening, giving her the ability to be in the shadow plane. It's a 45-second cooldown, 30-second, a relatively low cooldown. We're still learning the card. All of us are still learning the cards.
Yeah.
But that's another card I would expect to see. Almost any Countess that goes death, I would expect to see Shadow Dancer inside of that deck.
I think early on, early to mid game. I mean, depending on your game, but it'll be interesting to see if she picks it up and then if it's ever removed. Because I've seen people go with more of a burst-oriented build without having to have that invisibility at the end. So it'll be interesting to see how these builds play out. We've got Azibear, who's also picked up an Invader Mage, which is the 13 power, 12 ability armor penetration for that mid lane. He's 3-2-0 right now. We're seeing towers being pushed. Or Prime, it's weird saying this at 12 minutes, or Prime hasn't been taken yet. Nebos has started it.
Oh my, Nebos is getting taking damage. The shields are there to try to keep himself up, but now Tokyo is getting surrounded by his opponent and goes through away. It's going to be okay here. This continuing build coming out from Tokyo Nicholas is he's been spending a lot of money on wards, and that's another thing about wards is there's not just you buy it once and all of a sudden you have vision throughout the course of the game. It is a pretty substantial economical commitment you have to make to get those wards, and if one person is having to commit so hard to get wards, they can find themselves behind an attribute point. A big Tesla Dome going down as Narbash just sitting inside of it, but the Reversal of Fortune being used as well to keep himself alive. The Sticky Bomb finally is going to get the kill over on Narbash, but that took so much damage. He took an entire duration of a Tesla Dome, as well as 2 members of his opponent hitting him the entire time, and still took forever to take him down. Still, Hydra are going to take the engagement. 2-0 thus far, maybe looking for a little bit more, but not going to happen. Murdoch did get the long arm of the law over on Countess, so even though he was on the other side of the field, he did pick that up and gets a kill onto the carry. So a very shot him with the bullets that he has inside of his gun, because that's that hero. But yeah, a good engagement over there from Hydra Esports.
Thanks for explaining how bullets and guns work, Shane.
No problem, man. No problem, man. That's what I'm here.
Shot him with the bullets inside the gun, guys. We figured it out. Aggressive in mid lane here. Oh, goodness.
This is an educational cast, Notch. We talked about this.
Narbash is in a little bit of trouble here. He's taking quite a bit of damage. The shields are out. He's got that regen on. He is going to get away here. Tokyo Nicholas getting aggressive, trying to steal this green buff in the enemy jungle, which I don't believe he picked it up. It looks like Narbash, I think, picked it up, but Lucera was there, and we saw that damage come out. Cranky Trash Can onto Not Ghost. 2 abilities got him down to about 50% health there. Not Ghost is going to hit him in the face with a shotgun and back him off.
That's actually a pistol.
It's a buckshot. It's buckshot. It's like it's got like a spread of like a buckshot. Like
it's like a pistol, but it has like a slug in it, or not a slug, because then it wouldn't be a buckshot.
It's like a bird shot, is what.
Okay.
Stop it! Stop it! This is the Paragon Competitive League.
We're trying to figure out important lore associated inside of the game as it contributes to the immersiveness of the broadcast.
Cranky Trash Can's in trouble here. Sevarog behind him. Oh my gosh, the damage coming out on the Ghost. Cranky Trash Can, that Subjugate just saved his life. And Not Ghost survives again.
That's not even an ultimate. He's not even that's not Feast. That's literally just Dark Tide.
Yeah, that was Dark Tide and Blade Siphon, and Ghost was down to about 4 health. Subjugate saved his life. Ghost is going to back off. Nicholas doing a great job with that defense there. Like you said, putting a lot of points into wards, Shane. We've got Regal Infiltrator right now who's picked up Godmother Vigilant. This card is a nasty card on Rampage. Because of the rework to Rampage's E, which used to be purely a passive, King of the Jungle, it now has an activate ability. So it'll do 5% extra damage depending on his health. So he comes in, he ults, he hits that E, he's going to be dealing a significant amount of damage. He's got that regen, he can take a lot of damage in these engagements and be a really a nuisance for that front line, and also destroying those carries in the back line. So he has that online. I'm waiting. I do think Severog is going to pick it up. So it's going to be interesting to see when he picks that up. Currently, Rampage sitting at about 3,039 health, which will only continue to go up as he puts points into the Vitality tree.
Yeah, and you compare that to Severog, who you would expect to have very high levels of HP on Tokyo Nicholas, only 2,000, so you get to see the big benefit of that Elevate passive in the Order Affinity. We're able to utilize it effectively. It isn't something you carry all game. Eventually, there are better transitions. So the mid-game is a beautiful thing. Frankie is just going to get absolutely destroyed, as we do see Tokyo Nicholas going in, but Colossal Blow wasn't there, as he wasn't in the position to pull it off. They are retreating his Hydra Esports at Boulder. Splits the upright, doesn't hit a target he's looking for there. They take Cranky Trash Can off of the field, and that's how you deal with Countess. You just blow her up. It's essentially fight fire with fire, blow the Countess up before she blows us up. And the Tryouts are having a little bit of struggle here on Cranky Trash Can. He's almost gotten so many kills. There's been a couple times where he almost was able to set up kills, but wasn't able to get the job done.
Well, Hydra Esports is doing what they needed to do. They've got I feel like they had a better mid to late game comp, and they needed to play smart so they got to that point. They're at that point. They've got the tankiness. They've got the front line. They're shutting down this Narbash jungle. He's going to use that Song of My People. He's going to try and get away. Tokyo Nicholas with the flank here. Going to land a Subjugate. Finally going to fall. Cranky Trash Can picks up that kill there. But
there
this is... Are they going to be able to get more? They need to get more off of this with that one kill down.
A lot of ultimates committed with pretty much absolutely no follow-up. Cranky Trash Can looking for a Shadow Slip. Not going to be in the range now. As you dare gets stunked up. I'm not stunked up. I'm sorry. That ability's on the wrong side. It's stunned up right there, and Azzy is going to be okay. I wonder if... I mean, knowledge... Cranky Trash Can does have knowledge in his affinities. Are we going to see a blink potentially? I think blink on Countess is still very, very important to enable her to have long-range engagement. Still, I think it's all about play style and the course of the game. Shadow Slip used in and out, back into a position where she really needs to get away. She's actually going to be okay, but it's Narbash in so much trouble. The Muriel's trying to do what she can, but it simply isn't enough as he was isolated there. And Cranky Trash Can has no Shadow Slip. Had to use it very early inside of that fight. And without Shadow Slip available, there is going to be no means of keeping himself alive. And to go down, or Prime, I think they were thinking about it, but they're just going to fall back, spin their points, stabilize lanes, and ultimately just be content with the course of that fight. Maybe, after the fact, look for another important objective.
Really not a good play by Tryouts right there. They picked up the kill on Tokyo Nicholas, who's kind of been doing whatever. They had a chance to reset lanes and stabilize. Instead, they tried to look for more kills, I believe possibly pick up the Orb Prime. I'm not 100% on why they were there. The rotation came. Death timers aren't crazy long right now. Rotation came, and they were able to pick that up, pick up those kills. Now, Azzy Bear overextended. Ultimate's going to come down onto Vanilla Cutie. Azzy Bear is going to fall, and so is the Vanilla Cutie and Azzy Bear both going to fall. I've got so many replay bugs, Shane. I apologize. I can't see the health bar.
Hashtag a new dawn.
Hashtag
a new dawn of replay bugs.
Everybody has full health in every single engagement, so I'm trying to okay, who's going to die first?
It's all good, man.
But we're seeing these teams, and I feel like what they should have done is just stabilize, not apply that pressure, not get over aggressive. The collapse came, and they paid for it. Now we see 2 more deaths. I just, at this point, I don't think they know what they want to do, and they need to. While Hydra Esports looks like they know what they're wanting to do. They're warding, they're trying to pick up kills and collapsing. I expect Orb Prime to come into play very soon on the side of Hydra Esports.
I agree. Before we saw it picked up very, very early, these two teams, though. I think because these two teams are so evenly matched is why we're seeing a little bit more strategy coming out on both sides of the field, a little bit slower pace of a game as we've seen before, where teams were just pretty much going at each other's faces for the duration, but more focus on manipulating waves, trying to secure objectives, having pushes, so on and so forth. Looking by the river buff into the goal. Now Ghost is going to get knocked into the air. He's trying to maybe get a reprisal kill, but the commercial of fortune snare lands on the Murdoch, so he's snared up, but the damage right there. Too much damage. Even with all the sustain and damage mitigation on the side of Tryouts, it is simply not enough to deal with the now mid to late game damage coming out from Hydra Esports. Both of the supporters of that draft are now down, and I think it's just going to be just pure a concession of the Orb Prime here. Hydra Esports, I mean, they have an Iggy, they have a lot of tools to be able to pick this up, but even with that being said, are not going to go with it, and I'm a little bit surprised by this. They have Iggy, they have a 5v3 situation, they have all the vision in the world, but instead, fall back and continue to farm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the smart play, it's the safe play, because there is still a lot of we haven't seen it quite effective yet. But with Muriel and Narbash, one good engagement coming out of tryouts, they can really turn that fight because they have that sustain. They're being picked off right now. We do know, so we're going to take a look at Countess. Shane, she's picked up Sleeper Agent. Expect her to pick up a target, blow that target up. She also has Invader Mage on with Mana Flow Acolyte as well. But Not Ghost has picked up the shield build. He's got Malnik's Tribute, 15 power, 17 attack speed. He gains a shield for any healing above max health. And he also has March of the Malnik. Basic attacks have a 30% chance to remove debuff. So he's got ways to deal with it. He's going to be giving himself an overshield as he's at full health attacking minions. Another engagement here onto Narbash. He's going to get stunned up.
Has to be careful as well because he was taking a lot, but into the range form with the region is there. And the Crash Bang Boom comes down, but it simply was just way too late. He already took way too much damage. Cranky in a lot of trouble as well. If he doesn't Shadow Slip, he does. He's able to Shadow Slip the gadget. Sticky Bomb right there, which probably would have been the death of him, but the Tesla Dome is going to catch him out, and as well as the just charging in of Hydra Esports is going to catch him out too. Only Cranky Trash Can down, I'm sorry, as well as Narbash. So again, 2 kills go over to Hydra. They are now starting the Orb Prime, committing to it with Regal trying to be a zoning tool. Nebos is going to go in here, but I don't know if this is the right tool or the right initiation here. He has to be very, very careful. He's going to go in and just get taken out. He used the Flame of Zekin to try to get the steal, but not going to happen. Now Twin Blast gets knocked into the wall by the colossal blow of Tokyo Nicholas. And Orb Prime secured into the mid lane. They go off the heels of a successful team fight. And this is going to be a very, very difficult hold coming out from them. They're going to be up here in about 15 seconds. More importantly, though, no presence of Twin Blast for half a minute.
Yeah, no presence. Like you said, Twin Blast down. They tried to go in and steal that Orb Prime with a couple Flame of Zections online, and unfortunately they weren't able to do it. At this point, with the tankiness and the front line of Hydra Esports, Tryouts are in a really bad position. We talked about last game the size of minion waves. Minion waves are down. Tokyo Nicholas, he's just going to kind of be a bully, it looks like, in that lane, while the rest of his team rotates off. And is going to start pushing down another tower here.
Yeah, surely just to go down there. And they're looking for more after picking up that mid inhibitor pretty much with no trouble whatsoever. It's going to be Sevarog in the mid lane, a little bit of divide and conquer as we tend to see here. Inhibitor getting very, very low. Nebos is just, without Nebos, it's so hard for them to sustain inside this fight. Diving into the core is going to be Regal. He has to be careful, as that core damage is something you can't disrespect. But I think with the lead that is now established here for Hydra, that they can play like this. And yeah, this is a significant advantage. They have Orb Prime into the core that they go. Instead, not shooting it down, getting a little bit cheeky, dive in the core, but that's okay. I think we've all done that and had it happen to us 1 or 2 times before. But yeah, Hydra Esports, man, they were a phenomenal play there. This game was a little bit more strategic than the ones we've seen, a little bit longer than, or maybe not longer per se, but definitely these 2 teams were a little bit more evenly matched and were just trying to play around the objectives, utilize the new decks and ideas that they had, and it was really exciting to see all these interesting things. We had a jungle Narbash, an offlane Muriel, a support Iggy.
The Narbash didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I feel like he needed to be more aggressive early. Lucer on that Iggy and Scorch support did a really good job keeping Cranky Trash Can shut down. Cranky Trash Can ended up dying 8 times. That's not something you want. You can have a poor start, but having that bad of a start is really going to hinder her progression and growth, and she never really came online. Yes, she had strong cards, but she never really came online. They did a good job keeping her shut down. Of course, we saw the strength of Godmother Vigilant on Rampage and on Sevarog, Shane. They were just so tanking in that front line, absorbing all of the damage that the Tryouts could dish out. So Hydra Esports picking up that win there. I think they had a better mid to late game comp. They played really well to start. They played the objectives better, and that's what picked up that victory for them there.
I agree. It was the sustained sort of draft that they had didn't really work out. The jungle Narbash, what I was wondering with jungle Narbash, when do you hit when is the power spike for a jungle Narbash? Is it really early? Because as I said, he has the highest base damage inside of the game. So you'd imagine that would mean early on, hit level 3, get thunk. But I mean, Song of My People really isn't a jungle sort of tool. So instead, maybe putting more priority into his speed boost as well as thunk, leveling it up maybe putting priority into that. That's the question I have: is when is the power spike of a jungle Narbash, and with that power spike, how do you play into that? And I feel like that was the tempo that Tryouts were trying to find, but weren't able to establish.
And so I think early game is where you want to see that damage. Get him to level 5 as quickly as you can. His ultimate, if you can get a full duration of his ultimate off, it actually can deal significant damage. But I think it's more comes down to the follow-up of your team. So we've seen Narbash in the jungle. I hopefully we'll see a Richter in the jungle as well. Who I think he's a better jungler. But Narbash, one of the things Epic has always tried to do, Shane, we've talked about this from the start. They've said this is allowing players to play heroes in non-traditional roles. So you can basically play a hero wherever you want. And I think the one thing is this new card system allows for that to happen. We just didn't see it utilized properly in that aspect. Narbash needs to be aggressive early. He needs to look for those ganks. He needs to look for those pickoffs. You have Muriel in that lane, which I think he was wanting to prioritize, but Iggy and Scorch shut that down because you have to engage into 3 or 4 turrets because she's not able to clear those up. So he couldn't get that aggression that he was looking for in the off lane that I think he needed to really allow Cranky Trashcan to snowball.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the main issue was, is that they didn't have that ability to snowball that Countess out because of the control that Louis offered. And of course, that insane tankiness coming out of Sevarog and Rampage. So
that's such a sturdy front line. Like that's
a nasty front line.
Even with a burst hero such as Countess,
yeah,
that's just a very, very nasty front line. And it was a chip away sort of strategy with Morgesh and sustain of Muriel and Narbash. And it's hard to chip away to Rampage and Sevarog.
Right.
That's a lot of chipping. Especially
4,000 plus health on those heroes. So congratulations to Hydra Esports. They're going to be, guys, we're going to take a short break, about a 5-minute break here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting Paragon Competitive League. Thank you guys for supporting the competitive team, competitive scene. This is a new dawn, the first tournament on version 42. We were expecting some cheese today. I think we've seen a little. I think we're going to see a little bit more. But thank you to all. We had 24 teams sign up. So we had more than 24 sign up, but 24 in this tournament. So thank you guys for everybody that signed up. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes with more Paragon Competitive League.